Hey guys, Jeff here from Films at Home. Just wanted to talk a little bit about Star Wars The Last Jedi. So I went last night, saw the 8:15 screening, opening night, and I wanted to share my thoughts and do my first kind of movie review that isn't a 4K or a Blu-ray review. I will say that I'm gonna dive into some spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, save this video, come back, watch it after you've seen The Last Jedi. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but there's going to be some stuff that I talk about that would certainly give away some major plot points. So again, warning, do not watch this if you have not seen Star Wars The Last Jedi. First of all, what are you waiting for? Go buy your tickets and go see it. But come back and watch this video after you've watched the movie, and then you can dive into some of the spoilers that I'll be talking about here in this review. So in this review, I just want to set up how I'm going to structure this a little bit. I'm going to give you my overall thoughts. Then I'm going to dive into some of the positives, the things I really liked, and some of the negatives and things that I think need to change or needed some work. That is where I will get into some serious spoilers. So again, stay away if you haven't watched the movie. It's gotten good reviews so far. The Last Jedi did pretty well on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience scores were a bit lower. To be expected with a crowd like this. They're going to be very critical of any new Star Wars movie. I'll say I liked it better than The Force Awakens, but not as much as Rogue One. In the overall scheme of things, I think it was maybe better than A New Hope, but it's not as good as Empire Strikes Back. It's not as good as Return of the Jedi. It's better than the prequels, so it'll sit somewhere in fourth place for me in the overall scheme of things for Star Wars movies so far. So overall, the movie, it's about 2.5 hours long, so it's lengthy. It's a lot longer than other Star Wars movies have been, but I didn't think it dragged at all. I thought the pacing was really good. There were some moments in the middle where it kind of got a little goofy, and honestly, if you took out some of the scenes with Finn on the casino planet, I don't see how that would have changed the movie at all. Nothing really was accomplished there. It was cool to see Benicio del Toro get a role, but honestly, if they hadn't found him and nothing had changed, the outcome of the story didn't change. So it was kind of a waste of a half hour. Felt like a lot of filler and almost felt a little Attack of the Clones-y at times with the CGI and the different characters they were throwing in there. They really tried to force a lot of new stuff into a sort of small segment. Now, I think by far the best part of the movie is the relationship between Rey and Luke and Kylo Ren. They explore that in depth. They dive into kind of Kylo's backstory a little bit, what happened to Luke and Kylo Ren, and then how Rey and Luke connect during their training, and his kind of character arc where he's so against it at first, and then he sees her power and he gets a little afraid, and then he comes back and sees her connecting with Kylo Ren, and he's even more terrified, so she takes off, but in the end he comes back around and really kind of saves the day for them, saves the rebellion in his last act as a Jedi, and kind of gives Rey the confidence to become that next Jedi and lead the rebellion without him. Previously, it was all about, we need Luke. We need Luke. If we don't have Luke Skywalker, we can't do anything. Rey was like, we need to get Luke. Luke's gone now. So Rey is the leader here of the rebellion. She's got to take charge. And I think she knows that, and you could see that at the end of the movie. Episode 9 is clearly going to be a conflict between Rey and Kylo Ren, and that's kind of culminating, hopefully, a huge lightsaber duel at the end of everything. So if we're going to talk about positives, one of the nicest things I thought about the movie was, and spoilers here, so turn away now, but the appearance of Yoda. I thought that was great to bring Yoda back as a Force ghost. It would have been nice to see maybe Obi-Wan, but it kind of all ties in. Like in Empire Strikes Back, the second of the original trilogy, you've got Luke training with Yoda, learning how to become a Jedi, and then in this movie, you've got Rey training with Luke, and then Luke is now, advised by Yoda, who was his trainer. It all ties in very nicely. But obviously getting Yoda was a really cool cameo. I really enjoyed that a lot. I also thought that probably the strongest scene in the movie was the throne room duel between with Kylo Ren and Rey, kind of fighting side by side against the throne room guards. Really great fight. Loved the lightsaber action in that. The cinematography was great. They kind of shot this like 360-degree view of the room as they're fighting. It was really amazing. The red color of the room. I mean, it was a great shot, a great scene. Definitely the best part of the movie by far. And I kind of talked about this before, but I think Mark Hamill coming back as Luke, he did an excellent job kind of playing a different version of Luke Skywalker, kind of the battered, the tired, wary, old Jedi, afraid of the Force almost because of the destruction it's caused. Mark Hamill was great, just incredible, even just to the end, and then he kind of disappears like Obi-Wan does in the first movie, or Yoda did after the training. They just kind of dissolve, which is kind of the way Jedis go. But I have a feeling that you're going to see Mark Hamill again as Luke in the episode 9. He'll come back as some sort of Force ghost, or he'll have some impact on the story, I'm sure, just to kind of tie things all together, maybe give Rey some advice. But he did an excellent job in this movie. I think he had the strongest performance out of any of the main characters, and he deserves recognition for that. So now some of the negative things I didn't like. To start off, I didn't like Finn's whole storyline. Honestly, if you take Finn out of The Last Jedi, then nothing changes. His whole arc is cool, but like they don't find the code breaker. They get captured. Like nothing changes. They still fire on the rebel fleet. They still get to the base, and Finn doesn't. He just doesn't really contribute at all, and it's surprising because in the first movie he was such a driving force, almost equal to Rey, and now this movie it's like, Finn's off doing his adventures, his kind of side piece here, and nothing happens with him that matters. There are some cool shots. There's a great fight with him and Captain Phasma at the end, which ended all too quickly. I mean, they fought for maybe 15 seconds and then boom, she's dead. So that was kind of anticlimactic, and he just doesn't really make an impact on the story, which bothered me because he was such an integral piece of the first movie. They kind of pushed him to the side in this one. Another thing that really bothered me was the way they just kind of did away with Snoke. So in the first movie, you get kind of this, he's an enigma. You don't really know what he looks like. You just see his face. He's this big projection in the throne room. And we get to meet him in this movie, and you see how powerful he is. I mean, Rey tries to take a lightsaber from him. He swings it around the room right back into his hands. He holds Rey up in the air, and just with the Force, and just pulls everything out of her. He's so powerful. And then he gives Kylo Ren the chance to obviously kill Rey, and all he does is turn a lightsaber on that was next to Snoke and cut him in half. Like, if you're that powerful with the Force, do you not sense that the lightsaber sitting on the chair next to you is moving, and that somebody's using the Force on it and is going to potentially kill you? Like, I don't understand. And he died so quickly. Like, everyone was ready to figure out who's Snoke, what's his story, what's his backstory, how did he get to be, and then he's dead. He's cut in half, and okay, now Kylo Ren's the Supreme Leader. What was the point of Snoke? Why not just make Kylo Ren the Supreme Leader in the first place? Like, the Snoke, the whole thing with Snoke didn't really serve a purpose. It was really a letdown. They did not tie in to The Force Awakens as well as they should have. They really played that character up, and Rian Johnson in this one was kind of like, yeah, I don't like him, so let's cut him in half and kill him. Thinking about it a little more, there's also something that still bothers me with these new trilogy movies, and bothered me a lot with The Force Awakens, is they're really derivative of the original trilogy. So obviously in The Force Awakens, there's all kinds of references to A New Hope. The storyline's almost exactly the same. J.J. Abrams played that one very safe. It was a nice piece of nostalgia. You got the member berries out. We got to see all the old characters come back, but it was kind of the same thing. It was infiltrate, blow this thing up from the inside, blah, blah, it's a planet killer. It was a similar idea. And I was hoping The Last Jedi would kind of take this in a different direction, but if you really think about The Last Jedi compared to Empire Strikes Back, we're dealing with a powerful, Jedi who just found their force powers and needs to go to a master to train. Exactly what happens in Empire Strikes Back and in The Last Jedi. We have a battle with the walkers on a planet which looks like snow. Now, they make sure in the movie to have one guy touch the salt and go, hey, this is salt. It's almost like, hey, look, we didn't use snow again for the walkers, but it's a similar type battle. Their walkers are closing in on a rebel base, trying to blow it up, trying to kill the last of the rebels, just like in Empire when they smash the rebel base and Darth Vader comes in and tries to wipe them out. And then even in the ending, where at the end of Empire Strikes Back, obviously Luke loses his hand and he's hanging, and he's stuck. You're like, oh, Luke's gonna die. Boom, he gets picked up by the Millennium Falcon and he takes off. Well, in this movie, again, you've got about 12, 15 rebels left. They're stuck. The rocks are there. Who shows up? The Millennium Falcon shows up. They get on the Millennium Falcon, and the last of the rebels fly away to safety. I mean, there's a lot of things that are directly tied in here, and it's just interesting that they seem to not be able to go in any original direction. It's still very derivative. They still rely heavily on the original trilogy because I think there's the backlash from the prequels that went so differently that I think people are afraid to try new things, and it's a little disappointing because obviously there's so many opportunities with these new characters to do something different. Like maybe Rey doesn't need to train with Luke. Maybe Rey is just like this rogue Jedi who kind of learns on her own, and maybe Kylo Ren isn't the conflicted. Like you can see that Kylo Ren's character arc here, although it's not as he's more sympathetic than Vader, but it's leading up to a point where like okay, maybe in Episode 9 Kylo Ren gets badly injured and is going to die, and he flips sides just like Vader did at Return of the Jedi. I mean, it's all leading to sort of the same place. We've got a limited rebels. They kind of lost in The Last Jedi, just like they lost in The Empire Strikes Back. They're on the run. They're weak. I mean, and then obviously in the last movie, you assume they come back and they take everybody out, just like they did in Return of the Jedi. I'm just really hoping for something original. It's part of the reason why I liked Rogue One better than The Last Jedi or Force Awakens. It's just because they told it's not an original story. It's part of Star Wars lore that, they steal the Death Star plans. But it was something we had never seen before, and it was really, really well done and well put together. Completely new characters, and it was just a really, really great way to go outside of the box, which is something that I think these new movies are sorely lacking. So that's about it for today, guys. That's my quick, immediate reaction, having just seen this last night. Obviously, don't take anything I said too critically. Don't take it too negatively. I really liked the movie. I mean, I'm a Star Wars geek. I'm a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I feel like they can be better, and that's what hurts me. They're not as bad as the prequels. They're right up there with the original trilogy. They're below it at this point in my mind. They're not as good, but they're right up there. And I mean, they're fun to watch. They're excellent movies, really fun popcorn blockbuster movies. I always leave wanting more. I left Rogue One, and the only thing I wanted more of was Darth Vader. I said, oh, I wish they could have had more Darth Vader just killing people. But I loved that movie. And I left The Force Awakens, and I said, we could have done more, could have done something different. And I was really hoping The Last Jedi would do something different, but it looks like they're kind of sticking to this similar just storyline, which kind of bugs me. But it's not to say it's not a good movie. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend you go see it. I mean, I'm going to go see it again in IMAX on Thursday. I'm going to check this thing out, maybe get a second viewing, and that'll change my mind. Maybe I'll notice some things I didn't notice before. Maybe, it'll change my opinion on the movie, but so far, I think I'd give it a solid, 7.5 out of 10. It's not perfect by any means, but it's still much better than a lot of the stuff that people are putting out there these days. And for a sequel, it's pretty solid, and it sets up a nice story for Episode 9, where hopefully J.J. Abrams coming back can kind of tie up some loose ends and give us the answers that we were hoping to get in The Last Jedi. So let me know what you guys thought about the movie. If you've seen it yet, definitely leave me a comment. I'll get back to you guys. We can talk Star Wars, geek out a little bit. And let me know what you thought of my first kind of movie review. I've done the 4K and Blu-ray reviews before, obviously, but this is the first time I've done a theatrical movie review, so let me know in the comments what you thought about that as well. Also, don't forget to like this video. Definitely subscribe. We're pushing 500. We're doing really great. I appreciate all the support. I would love to get to 500 before the end of the year. That would be incredible. I'm also on Instagram at films_at_home. If you look me up on there, we're almost at 9,000 followers there. I'm posting all kinds of great content from my collection, which you can see is extensive. So if you like collected movies, you love movies, I've got almost 2,000 movies in this room. They're everywhere, and I'm always posting pictures and showing off what I've got. So definitely follow me on there. And just, again, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'm new to this, so I appreciate any feedback, any support. It's been really fun so far, and I hope to do more of these videos in the future. So until next time, guys, Jeff here from Films and Home signing off. Go see The Last Jedi. Go enjoy it. Don't think I'm too negative about it. I'm just giving my opinion, but I definitely recommend you see it. I'll see it probably 2 more times at least. So it's fun. If you love Star Wars, you're going to love it. Go check it out. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching.